Hey guys, welcome back to Serendipity's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make artisan bread using this cookbook. This is one of my favorite cookbooks for bread and I highly recommend purchasing it. So for this artisan bread recipe, you're going to want to start off with a pretty deep bowl that has a lid to it. First, you're going to add 1.5 cups of lukewarm water. Add a half tablespoon yeast and 1 tablespoon kosher salt. Give it a little mix. You don't have to worry about it all getting dissolved. Next, you're going to add 3 1/4 cup flour using the scoop and sweep method. Just scoop up your flour and level it off with a knife. If you use a 2-cup measure, it will cause the flour to overpack and add too much flour to your recipe. Just mix it up with a wooden spoon. Okay, so you just want to make sure your flour is mixed completely in. Your dough will still be very wet, but that's a good thing. So next, you're just going to cover your bowl with a lid. Then let your dough rise at room temperature for 2 hours until it begins to flatten on top. As you can see, our dough has risen considerably. So after you've let your dough rise for the 2 hours on the counter, you can then put it in the fridge with the lid still slightly cracked. So you can use this dough anytime after the following day, but I highly recommend waiting 3 to 5 days before you use it. It can even stay in the refrigerator for up to 14 days. I personally think it tastes better the longer it's in the refrigerator, just because it will start to ferment, and trust me, it smells very weird, but don't be scared, that's completely normal. It kind of gives it that sourdough flavor. Also, never punch your dough down. You're trying to retain as much gases as possible inside the dough. You're going to start off with a piece of parchment paper and lightly sprinkle it with cornmeal. Here is our beautiful dough from the refrigerator. You're going to dust the top with flour. Alright, so you're going to pull up about a 1-pound piece of dough. It's going to be about the size of a grapefruit. Dust your hands with flour as needed so the dough doesn't stick to you. You're going to pull all the sides to underneath and just make a nice rounded loaf. This process should take about 20 to 40 seconds, no longer. If you do it longer, it could form a dense loaf. And then you're just going to stick the dough onto your parchment paper with the cornmeal. You're going to let it rest for 40 minutes. It does not need to be covered. It won't really rise much during this resting period. It will rise a lot more in the baking process. And then with my leftover dough, I'm going to refrigerate that until I'm ready to make another loaf. Okay, so we're getting ready to bake it. You're going to preheat your Dutch oven at 450 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes. Once your Dutch oven has heated up, you're going to liberally dust the top of your bread with flour and make your slats in the top using a serrated knife about a 1/2 inch deep. You can play around with the design for this, but I'm just going to make 3. Across the top at an angle. You can do a tic-tac-toe or just kind of play around with it, your design. Okay, now it's ready for the oven. Okay, go ahead and open your oven, take your lid off your Dutch oven, and just place your bread in. Then place your lid back on and bake for 20 minutes. Okay, after your bread has baked for 20 minutes, you're going to gently slide the parchment paper out. You don't want to take the lid off because all your steam will escape. Well, let's see how this goes. Just gonna gently pull, trying to loosen the bread off the parchment paper. If you need to raise the lid slightly to get it all the way out, that's okay. The goal here is to get a crispier bottom. Once the bread is richly browned and firm to the touch, you know it's done. You can take the lid off in the last few minutes of baking if you want the top to become even more brown. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time.